Welcome back to Sam Jack Talks Back, the VMN Videos vlog. This is episode 2. A little bit of a hiatus, mini hiatus, a little break, if you will. It was the holidays. Happy New Year, by the way. Happy 2026. It is currently January 5th as I'm recording this. But yeah, I took some time off. I had an extensive time, or at least in the freelancer world, an extensive time off. Basically a couple days before Christmas, leading up through to the New Year's, and then my first day back was the 3rd. Worked the 4th, or is it the 2nd? No, sorry, 2nd and 3rd I worked, and then I had yesterday off and today off. But that time was a priority to be with the family, because most of the time, when I am working, the time off I have is just a day or two, and it's just recovering and, doing the daily stuff with the family. Hard to fit this stuff in. So anyways, really wanted to be intentional in doing that. And as a freelancer, any other freelancers out there know when you don't work, you don't get paid. So initially when I saw that time off, I was kind of like, oh gosh, I have all this time off. I need to get up a couple more gigs. And I also thought, well, you know what? It's a good opportunity to take the time during the holidays with my family. One of the Christmas gifts I just got, Flair Savage 92, who yeah, so that's a little bit of my wrestling fandom, or why I like wrestling so much. Someone that really knows me. Shout out Jonna, great art director. But anyways, I digress. So yeah, it's funny because I was like, oh, I gotta get the vlog back going, because I'd realized it had been a couple weeks since I posted. And one of the things I talked about here is being intentional about being consistent. I will be consistent, but I'm also gonna keep my family a priority, and things I need to do to make the family well and keep us together, and keep when it comes to work and when it comes to all that stuff. So anyways, but I also want to make a commitment to this, and I have a little note for that at the end of this vlog, as far as everyone likes to set New Year's resolutions, and I heard a term that actually I'm going to start using, but I'll wait for the end. It's a little tease there. So anyways, yeah, it was the Christmas time. We have a bunch of traditions that we like to do, not only seeing the family. I'd like to hear what your traditions are during the holidays, whether you celebrate Hanukkah or Christmas or Kwanzaa or other winter holidays, because as you come to learn about other cultures and religions' holidays, I'm not really that religious. I'm kind of like default Christian, just celebrate Christmas as my wife was raised Catholic, and I was just raised non-denominational Christian. So, we just celebrate Christmas, and we just love the time of merriment and being with the family. One of the big traditions, is a lot of people are stocking stuffers, and of course gift giving, but also the food. We always have a nice Christmas Eve dinner with my wife's family, and then day of Christmas, we just have a family thing with our immediate family, me, my wife, and my daughter. And then we visit with my family down in the Santa Cruz area, or they come up here, and we have a nice dinner. So food is obviously a wonderful thing. And, we either do a traditional thing. Usually we don't do like a turkey or a roast or something, because that's like Thanksgiving. So we like to do something kind of out of the ordinary. My family, we've made paella in the past. That's been a tradition. And my wife's family, they've done fondue, but a lot of people know cheese fondue, but it's actually oil fondue that they do. So it's sort of like you have the fondue pots, and you're basically like deep frying. You have the batter here next to it, and all the wonderful food like chicken, shrimp, squid, vegetables, hot dogs, onions. So you make little onion rings, you make fried broccoli, and you don't have to use the batter, but with the little hot dogs, you cut up hot dogs, you make little pronto pups or whatever. So that's some traditions. We also love to go to Union Square in the city in San Francisco, because they have a nice Christmas display and ice skating, things like that. And if you go into the I believe it's the St. Regis right there on I always want to say the St. Francis, but I believe the St. Francis is up on the hill, made famous by The Rock movie. But anyways, if you go up sneak into the lobby has a wonderful display too, but if you go up into the glass elevators, go up to the top floor in the elevators, you can look out upon Union Square. It's a nice view. And also a good place to have dinner, which has been a tradition of ours sometimes, is in Macy's, at the top of Macy's, there is a Cheesecake Factory, and they have a wonderful patio that outlooks Union Square. So that's some of our Christmas time traditions. So we were doing some of that. We actually didn't get to Union Square this year because we chose to do it on the day we went to the ballet to see the Nutcracker. And after the Nutcracker, it was just kind of a long day, and we just had something to eat on Hay Street, kind of near the ballet, and didn't make it over to Union Square. So we'll have to check that out next year. But I also did some volunteering, did some food donation. But I was also going to say let me backtrack for a second. Before pressing record here, I was actually writing notes of like, I got to write notes for the blog that I haven't done. Then I looked, I'm like, vlog 2. I already written notes for vlog 2. Wait, did I upload vlog 2? I know I uploaded the intro and the first vlog, but did I mark in my notes that vlog 1 was the intro? So I had to go back and rewatch the first episode of the vlog and say, oh no, these notes are actually for the second vlog. So I was actually ahead of myself. So in a way, I'm kind of, trying to stay consistent in that note. So anyways, I go around with an organization, I think I might have mentioned, called the CCMP. They are a organization that helps give people medical care that don't have health insurance, and advocate for them, and work with doctors that will donate their time and practice towards people who don't have health care to give them free services. So I go around to Safeways and other places to collect food, and I donate it to, I help this organization deliver it to, I don't personally donate it. I'm helping to facilitate it with driving around and picking it up. So we go to different Safeways. We go to the produce market in San Francisco, which is really awesome. That's where all the major produce companies that collect the produce on all the farms around California come and centralize, and they distribute it out to the city and the Bay Area. And so it's a pretty cool place to see, because it's just like produce and commodities in action. Commodities, being more of a stock market term for the goods and services of produce. But anyways, they donate some stuff. So we pick it up there, and we deliver it to the Rosa Parks Senior Center in the Fillmore District, and also other locations and nonprofits in San Francisco and Oakland and Berkeley. But I digress there. So that's a tradition that I do not only during the holiday season, but also throughout the year. And on that note, as far as giving back, one of the things I love to do in the wintertime is give out free socks. And shout out to my friend Graham, because, sorry, there's a bug flying around. That's kind of annoying. It's like, there's a bug flying around in his vlog. Can't AI that out? Is that the right way to say it? Come on, bug, get out of here. It's the light, because there's not too much light going on here. So, you know what? Vlogs are just like that, so I'm just going to keep it in. Hey, maybe that's the highlight of this vlog, is me catching that bug. But yeah, my buddy Graham hit me to this, and he basically just buys like a pack of socks, and whenever he sees someone on the streets or someone in need, now I'm going to get distracted by that bug, he just gives them a pair of socks. And he's not just like, a little pair of like, tennis socks or whatever. He gets a nice thick wool socks and he hands them out. And I think that's just a great gesture. So I've started doing that. And of course you can do it year round. It's kind of like a coat sale, or coat giveaway. But that's just something that I like to do as far as a tradition in the wintertime, giving back. And it's not something you have to sign up for, not some big organization you have to go through, whatever. You just buy some socks, and as you're going around through your day, hand out socks to people that need them. People on the street, they ask you for money, they ask you for food. Sometimes it's nice to buy them food or whatnot. Hey, here's a pair of socks, because I know you're going to need it. Maybe clean underwear is another good thing. So anyways, Another tradition that we like to do, and I'm sure a lot of you like to do, we get a lot, and we're very blessed, is Christmas cards or holiday cards. And, some people are more detailed, where they sort of give you a bio of what they've been doing through the year, or a little note or a card. We're a little more simple. We just have a nice little message and some pictures of highlights of the year. But it's just a nice memento, and you really get to, just having those physical things in this digital world that we live in. It's really nice to have those, collect them over the years. So doing a lot of errands and gifts, kind of wrapping up the year. And I really love giving gifts. I really love being thoughtful about, in a way, guessing what they want. You know what I mean? Like, I know people have Christmas lists and like, hey, this is what I want. This is what, but like, I'm kind of the mind, and my wife's kind of like this too, is like, I want to know you, or I want to give you a gift to show you that I know you, right? Does that make sense? It's like maybe something that they didn't think they needed, but when they open it up, they're like kind of surprised, right? Or they're like, yeah, you really know me. You got me this, right? Like, I just pride myself in something like that. So leave a comment if you agree or you disagree, or you're just like, hey, I'm writing you a list. You better get me something on this list. Like, my sister's more like that. And, no shade. It's like we all have different ideas and different wants and kind of things. But that's kind of how I feel about it. But also, in this age of consumerism and Amazon and Temu, and I'm guilty of all this too. I got a Prime membership. I tempted with Temu. Some of the content on this channel is Temu unboxing, right? But I try to buy local, whether it might not be a locally made thing, but it's at a local shop. I try to buy locally made things if I can, homemade if possible. Every year, that's another tradition I'll get on after I kind of get through the gift thing, but I make a bread every year that I give to families and friends that I've known for years, and newer friends and family friends, and parents that are friends of mine that I know through my daughter's school, that are in their parents of kids that are in my daughter's class, or were in my daughter's class, or in daycare or whatever, from years ago or whatever, or 4 or 5 years ago or whatever. And also a big thing is experiences and memberships, like something that's not so, not a thing, that doesn't really buy into consumers, and more like I got my wife membership to the botanical gardens at UC Berkeley. Sometimes it's been like a massage, or membership to, my dad gave us a membership to the state parks pass, so we could not, free entry basically to state parks, which is really nice. Things like that. So I think, I think I wrote this in hopes that I do this before Christmas, but it's kind of a nice, okay, reflecting on what we do. And then the bread, going back to the bread, this is something my dad made. It's a persimmon bread. Persimmon is it's a winter fruit, I believe, or it kind of comes ripe in the late fall, early winter, I think, because actually you'll see it right around Thanksgiving time. And a lot of people know the Fuya persimmons are very popular because they're made into candied or dried persimmons, or some people eat them just raw. They're almost crunchy like an apple, but kind of soft like a pear. Very sweet. But baking persimmons, it's actually better to have the hayamas, which are the larger acorn-shaped ones. But anyways, so my dad had this recipe. He made it. It's James Beard is a famous baker and cook, kind of the Julia Child era. I'd look him up. He's got a James Beard Award that he's no longer alive, but one of the top chefs or bakers of the year get this award. I'm not really in depth in that scene, although I love to cook. So anyways, I never liked how he made it. He put too much bourbon in it. It's one of those holiday breads that, it's kind of boozy, even though the alcohol cooks off, you can kind of taste it. So kind of out of spite, I was like, I'm going to make it better than him, right? But also, in my 20s, I wanted to give gifts to people, but I didn't have a lot of money. I still don't have a ton of money, but like I have more capital to be like, hey, I'm going to give gifts to people, or expense. My wife and I will invest in, making cards or buying cards, a service to do cards or whatever. And baking something can be cheap, but as the list grew, I think I make 50 mini loaves. They're about this big, this deep or whatever, in these little pans. but I make 6 of those per batch, and I make a total of about 50 to 60 of those mini loaves, and it gets to be quite an ordeal, and it's been a labor of love, but also, it's like my wife's dealing with it. She groans every time I do it, because I don't really, sometimes I deliver it late, or I'm just kind of all over the place, or I do it kind of last minute. So that's another thing I, want to get better at over the years, because the list is good, and I'm able to go around, but it takes up a lot of time, basically, and she just kind of sees it as a way away from the family. You'll notice a theme there, so I kind of want to be a little bit more intentional about that, and that's kind of what I teased at the beginning. I'll tail this vlog with that, and I'll leave you with that at the end. So there was something else I was going to say about gift giving, and maybe that was it, but anyways, yeah, so that was kind of how we spent our Christmas time with family, and that's part of the reason that I haven't made this second vlog until now. So again, Happy New Year. We also went away up north and did a little camping up in the Mendocino area, which was really nice, and it was rainy and wet, but it was just nice to kind of get away from the city and just have some time relaxing. We didn't even stay up till past like 8:30, 8:40. Like, we were in bed, tucked away with the wood stove, piping along, and it was toasty in our sleeping bags in the cabin that we were in. And I think we were up. I mean, I wasn't up quite at 5, but I think we were up at, like, my wife and daughter were up at 5:36, and I probably was up at 6:37 that day, and we were hiking all around the woods and just hanging out and having a fire out in the rain and exploring and seeing all sorts of cool stuff. We saw otters in a river and coyotes, and a coyote isn't that big of a deal, but just kind of see it in the wild rather than like a raccoon or something. It was nice, and a tree had fallen down, nothing damaged, but just seeing that kind of destruction, and it wasn't even a hole. We tried to see where it came out of the ground. We couldn't find where the trunk was, and we realized that halfway up on the redwood tree is where it snapped off. So it was this huge chunk, and maybe I'll add photos laying over so you can actually see it. But this huge chunk, massive chunks, probably 20, 30 feet long, and it was only half the tree. I mean, it was incredible. So yeah, just a little tidbit of what we did over the holidays, and getting back into work. So I will be very intentional about making these more consistent, most likely on a weekly basis. And a friend of mine watched the first episode, and he kind of joked. He's like, "Oh yeah, you talked about the podcast, and I haven't seen one yet. Like, what's going on with that?" So a little update on that. I will be starting to shoot in the second week of February. January is kind of a busy month. I might be able to sneak 1 or 2 recordings in then, but my goal is to kind of bank them in a way like a lot of people do, is do like 5 or 6 episodes in a 1 to 2 week span, and then push them out or publish them out once a month, maybe bi-weekly. We'll see. But yeah, that's my intention, and that kind of leads me to the end and what I teased at the beginning. Intentions, not resolutions. I heard someone say that on a Instagram post or story or something like that, where basically, it was a text from another parent after I gave them persimmon bread. So it tails back into traditions and giving out the persimmon bread. But he said, "Thanks again for the persimmon bread." He said, Heidi and I, that's his wife's name, talked to Dora about our intentions for the year. And we're setting the intention of being more like Sam because of his kindness and generosity and his cheerfulness and just being an overall good person. And that was really special to hear. So, may you be the light in this world when all other darkness is. I'm getting teary-eyed here because as I'm recording this, we got stuff going on in Venezuela, Palestine, Israel, still a thing. No peace has come to that as far as I know. I mean, I think there's a temporary ceasefire, but, they're still, destroying Palestine, and that conflict is, then there's other conflicts around the world. And Trump wants to take over Greenland. He said, okay, now that Venezuela's toppled, and we're going to take over there, all the oil, by the way. We're going to go to Colombia and all this stuff. And I'm not trying to get too political on this vlog, but needless to say, there's a lot of turmoil in the world right now, and politically in America, there's a lot of divisiveness between the left and the right and all this stuff. But if we can just be civil, and more than civil, just like ethical too, like just be nice to each other, and just like treat others the way you want to be treated. But he used the word intention, and that's kind of what I'm getting at, is that resolution to me is like a heavy word. I've never been good with resolutions, hence why I'm always saying, I got to stay consistent. I got to do all these better things. And actually, I was going to leave you with intentions, but I forgot to mention the whole list thing about staying consistent. Is I used to make more lists. So let me table the intention thing for a minute. But yeah, so notebooks, you can make lists on computers. They have the list app and all this stuff, but like there's something about writing things, right? This is an old notebook that I just had sitting around, and I'm going to keep it in my pocket more often. And I write my notes for the vlog on a piece of paper, right? My nice messy handwriting. And this is my notes for vlog 2. I got my notes for the next episode right there, right? And it doesn't have to be neat, and that's what I like about it, because they're my notes, and I'm the only one reading them. Yeah, I showed them to you, and I showed you how messy they were, but that's only just to illustrate that, like, things can be messy. I mean, look at my hair, right? Yeah, so also, too, like, I have my Google Calendar that everything's synced with and all this stuff, but I got this as a gift. I really wanted more of an organizer, so, no fault to the person that gave this to me. I think it was my mom. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to use it. But I actually am going to go and I'm going to look for one that really suits my needs. This really just has calendar view. This is like for the month. And then you can set the days are vertical. And I guess it's blank. But I guess you could set the time or the different things horizontally. And then it'll have the month calendar view here, right? And I don't have it all. That's March. I don't have all my work for March. I've got 1, 2, 3. I got only 3 days booked in March, so I gotta work on that. So that's the life of a freelancer. But anyways, yeah, there's something to just writing things down. I lost that art in the last, 5-6 years. Even up before COVID, I was doing notes. So I want to get back into that, and also reading my old notes. I picked this up right before recording this small notebook, and I was reading the old notes I took, and it ranges. It varies from books I want to read, movies lists I want to see. Like, so this was Blind Spotting, Crazy Rich Asians, Skating Kitchen. Yeah, see, my handwriting's messy. Happy Time Murders, Black Klansman, Won't You Be My Neighbor. Won't You Be My Neighbor is a documentary about Mr. Rogers. It was on HBO or something. So I think that was like from 4 or 5 years ago, maybe longer. So I'll probably put down here once I do the edit for this, which I usually don't do too much editing for this, but this one I'm going to have to lay over the picture of the broken tree, and I'll put the date, once I look up when Black Klansman comes up, because I don't want to just get on my phone and be, hold on, because I'm talking about writing notes analogically, and then I go here to revert to my phone. So anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. But getting back to the intention thing, I just like the whole resolution thing. Like, everyone knows. I mean, some people are good at setting resolutions and sticking to those. And then, there's the age-old thing of like, oh, yeah, the resolution, you're never going to stick to it, blah, blah, blah. That's an ongoing thing. I know I'm not the only one. Put a comment below about resolutions you haven't kept, right? But I like the intentions because there's less weight to it, right? I'm intending to do this. And it's also more mindful, right? I'm going to set this intention. I hear a good, manifestation of this is to write I've heard some people say write 12 things, write 5 things, write 10 things, whatever it is, goals you have for the year. And you're out in front of a fire, you light a candle, right? Fire safety though, don't do this while burning your house down, but you basically draw one at a time and you burn it, okay? And then the last one that you don't burn, and that's the one you stick with. So like, rather than having a list of resolutions or like a laundry list of things you want to fix, just be intentional. Maybe just about one, maybe just a handful. But my screen is going to sleep, so I got to change that setting. Thought I had changed it, but yeah. So set intentions, not resolutions. At least that's what I'm going for. Put a comment below if you disagree or agree. Yeah, and that's pretty much all I got for this one. Stay tuned for vlog 2. Will come out next week. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to put up a thumbs up. Put up a thumbs down if you really don't like it. Put a comment, tell me why. Subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when new videos come out. Thanks again. I'll see you next time. Peace. Peace. That was weird.